which was interesting. And we went to the Chapel of the Miraculous Medal in France, and you guys will be doing this in May for our final. That's a very sweet place as well. We also went to Lourdes. But we went to Rome for the canonization, and the night before, I wanted to show you something else too, I didn't bring it. When news of the canonization broke and they got a date, the oratory, we've been very close contact with the oratory in Montreal for many years. The oratory came to St. Joseph and wanted to see what our family had preserved. And they were amazed, and they wrote a whole magazine about the Cannon family, and I didn't read it, and I'm sorry, because it's very interesting. And Sultan Light also came to, yes?
There's a picture on the back.
Oh, there's a picture of us on the back of the calendar. Thank you, Allison. On the back side?
On the back.
The very back side?
On the back.
So there's Mark and I, and it says visit with the Canton family in St. Joseph, and you can see the picture of St. Joseph, the statue of St. Joseph on the back. So we went to Rome, and we had sent a copy of our oratory magazine to the Pope just for fun. Just before we left, my son was in a very serious car accident, and it was absolutely horrifying, and I hope that nobody has to go through it. But he regained everything. He was 4 days in trauma, and he regained all of his memory, and he regained all of his function, and he was able to come to Rome with us. So I wrote a letter to the Pope saying, you know, it's a wonderful thing that Brother Andre, we prayed for him, and it's just been a wonderful thing. So we get to Rome, and I'm waiting in line for my tickets for the canonization, and Mark, my husband, decides he's going to go out and get coffee for us, and I'm sorry if I'm 15 minutes over. And so he's walking down the street with my other son, Joseph, and they're walking down the street, and they're talking about Brother Andre, chit-chatting about Brother Andre. And 3 guys walking from stop in their tracks, and they turn around, they look at Mark, and they go, "Oh my gosh, the Cantons are in Rome." Mark's like, "Oh." He says, "Well, you have." It turns out he was the vicar general for the Holy Order Cross, the Order of the Holy Cross, the same order that Brother Andre was in. So this is the first canonization for the order. So he was there, and he was very excited. He said, "I saw your article." He says, it's at the Vatican." And he said, "I saw it, and everybody read it, and it's all great, it's all grand." And he says, "You have to come to the prayer vigil tonight." Mark's like, "I didn't know anything about the prayer vigil because we're not part of the pilgrimage, the big buses that are coming, the big planes that are coming from Canada." And he says, "We're here as a family." He says, "You have to come to the vigil." So like, okay, get our tickets. We go walking. We walked. Everywhere in Rome, we walked because taxis are a nightmare. And we walked to the vigil. It was like an hour and 15 minutes walk, and it was windy, and our hair was like, whoosh, and we had our sneakers, and it was just fun. And we got to the vigil, and here's the little book from the vigil, and it's just a sweet little thing. And we get there, and people are pouring in, and they said, "Come here, we have a special job for you." So we're going to come to the front and say, "We want you to carry the processional candles." We're like, "Woo!" So that was fun. And there's a glance of us on YouTube one of the things, and it's very interesting. So we carried, in front was the incense, then we carried the processional candles, and behind us was the relic that they were going to present the next day to the Pope for the Pope's personal archive of the saints, or whatever. They have to have a piece of something. So we were in front of Brother Andre's behind us on the way. There was a big picture behind him of big Brother Andre's. It was very cool. It was very nice. So at that vigil, they're like, "Oh man, that's really cool." So we did carried our candles to the front. And at the end they said, "We're going to talk to you at the back. We want to interview you," because Family Theater Productions was at the back of the church. "We want to come talk." So we go to the back. And we're talking, and they talked to all the kids, and they said, "So tell us about the Family Rosary." I said, "Oh, power of the Family Rosary." I said, "You can't beat it." I said, "My son was in an accident, and to have him here today is truly a miracle, and it's all for Family Rosary." And they said, "Oh, but Father Peyton," because Father Peyton is now not venerable, but beatified. So he's next on the list. We're praying for him now. Yeah. Yeah, I believe. And so, anyways, I'm telling about Andrew's. You know, Andrew is my miracle. As far as I'm concerned, Andrew's my miracle, because it was horrifying. It was just horrifying. So anyways, they're like, okay, you have to get back to the front. They need you at the front again. They want to take one. So Mark and I are back to the front. Well, the kids get swarmed. They're like, shh. And then everybody's like, oh, and Andrew is there, my Andrew, and he's got little stars on his face, and they're quite red because it's a fresh accident. They're like, oh, we've been praying for you, we've been praying for you. And he's like, thanks. And he's, oh my gosh, you look so great. You're just like we imagined. He's like, thanks. And they're like, oh, we've been praying for you. It's been so great. It's been so great. And we've just been praying for you forever and ever. And he's like, it's great. And they said, well, how long has it been since your accident? He's like, 2 months. And they're like, oh. They thought Andrew was Brother Andre's second miracle because Andrew was the right age. He was in an accident. He was born the same year. And when I mentioned that Andrew was my miracle, they thought Andrew was the miracle. So it was interesting in itself. He's like, no, I'm sorry. They're like, oh, and tears. Oh my gosh, the women were in tears and they were just clutching him. They just wanted to just... But apparently his Brother Andre's second miracle was there at the canonization. The canonization went really well. Mark and I and all the kids had tickets and we all had a chair. So that was nice. I see we've got a rosary from Rome as well. This is the canonization, official canonization book, and in it is the story of Brother Andre written in French as well as, I think it's English. No? French and Latin? French and Italian.
Just French.
Just French. And anyways, it's all the stories of the 6 saints that were canonized on that day. All their stories are in here in their home language as well as the Pope's language, whichever one that Allison decides it is. The canonization was wonderful. Unfortunately, there was no English except when they read Brother Andre's story out of the book. In this book here is the official canonization album. And in here is the statue that Uncle Joe put up at St. Peter's Church in St. Joseph. So that's very special that we're in the canonization book as well. Then there's a little prayer for Brother Andre's intercessions. Then at the end of October, because so many people from Montreal, where Brother Andre was from, went to Rome, everyone from Montreal was allowed. They had their own Thanksgiving Mass at Montreal Stadium in Montreal. And this is the program from Montreal. And it was October the 31st. And they had some prayers in English, some were in French, and it was amazing. In Rome, the relic was in a gold reliquary, you know, like a monstrance at the front of the church. It's got the starburst with a little piece of Brother Andre's heart in the little circle thing. So that was about this tall, and it was very easy to carry around. But in Montreal, when they had I believe it's going to be a traveling reliquary then, and it was a chunk of the mountain where the St. Joseph's Oratory is today. It's a chunk of the mountain, and in it there's a medal of Brother Andre's, his silhouette, and on this side is a piece of Brother Andre's relics on this side. So it's very cool to see. And we have arranged, we're talking with Father Brew right now from St. Joseph's Oratory, that the reliquary comes to Southwestern Ontario for all of us. So that'd be yours. And now, here's your